Welcome into the Toa Pharmaceutical Raktab Dome in Osaka. You may have just seen some scenes from the surrounding city, an incredible city with a population of 2.7 million and one of the most densely populated cities in Japan. An amazing location from skaters around the globe to descend upon for the International Skating Union Figure Skating Grand Prix Series, with the NHK Trophy being the fourth of 6 stops on this Grand Prix Series before the Grand Prix final returns to Japan in Nagoya next month, when the best of the best will face one another in a fiercely battled competition en route towards the later stage of the season, with the shining bright star of the Olympic Games heavy on the minds of both the athletes, the coaches and the officials in this season. We have seen already success for China, with Sui and Han leading the pairs short program. Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson from Great Britain, winners of the rhythm dance, and Yuma Kageyama from Japan winning the men's event in a narrow lead over fellow compatriot Shun Sato. And now we look ahead to the final event of the day with the women's short program coming up. And since the NHK Trophy took place first in 1979, we have had some records broken by Japanese skaters in the most number of title wins. As we see now the starting order, and it is Japan's Midori Ito and Daisuke Takahashi who have won the most NHK Trophy titles, 6 between them both. And we suspect and presume that there will be more success for another skating legend from Japan, with Kaori Sakamoto, the 3-time world champion, the final competitor in this event. As we look now to the officials for the competition, the referee, then 9 judges, the technical controller and technical specialist. Their role is so important. We thank them for what they do to support the sport and give the skaters the feedback that they need at this point of the season to try to achieve the personal best and the aspirations that they all wish to achieve from the Olympic Games.
Let's welcome our skaters.
So shortly we will be introduced to the first group of 6 women.
Katherine, Medland, Spence.
The first of which, Katherine, Medland, Spence. What an incredible opportunity for Katherine. First time in Japan, first time on the Senior Grand Prix. Certainly not the first Grand Prix for Young Yu, an incredibly experienced skater and one of the Olympians in this competition. And now to the most beautiful of skaters, and the first from the host nation, Yuna Aoki. And Loena Hendrickx returns to the Grand Prix. The Belgian skating star is back. And then to Kazakhstan's Sofia Samodelkina.
Livia Kaiser.
Then to Livia Kaiser from Switzerland.
6 minutes warm up.
So 2 Olympians already within this group, with Young Yu and Loena Hendrickx, both of whom have had challenges and breaks within this Olympic cycle, looking to hopefully return to the form of their life. And it was wonderful to see Loena Hendrickx securing her spot at the Olympic Games at the Skate to Milano Olympic qualifying event in September in China. As we look at Katherine Medland Spence, just a wonderful opportunity for her. She has competed on the Challenger Series and at the Four Continents Championship, but participation here, a real treat for her.
Won bronze at the Canadian Championships. Representing Canada, Katherine Medland.
And hopefully the enormity of the occasion will override her preparation. She's been injured through spring and summer, but looks happy to be here, and rightly so, deservedly so. As we look to young Yu, she considers this her comeback season after the break last year, and she admitted that the journey back has not been easy, but told us how happy she is to be back, and she said it just really makes her incredibly happy to be able to perform in front of her fans again. 9th at the Grand Prix de France, the first stage of the 6 on the Senior Grand Prix Series this year, with scores not reflective of her best success, but hopefully now she will be able to continue to enjoy and resume the form that we've seen of her in the past. Now this young woman, to me, is an absolute delight to watch. Yuna Aoki, just a stunningly beautiful skater. She, one of many competing in back-to-back events. Skate Canada, 6th place last week. While she was not a medalist in the event, I believe last week's performance in Saskatoon has amassed her an absolute plethora of fans thanks to the indisputable beauty of her movement and musicality. And there, Loena Hendrickx from Belgium, 2-time world medalist. She turned 26 on Wednesday, celebrating by traveling to compete yet again on the Grand Prix. Just an amazing story. Ankle surgery in February.
And bronze at the World Championships in 2022 and 2023, respectively.
In being sidelined with that injury,
Loena Hendrickx.
she had to fight for her participation at a spot at the Olympic Games. She had to be ready to compete early in the season in Beijing, and she's just been incredible getting herself prepared following that injury so early in the season. As we look now to Sofia Samodelkina, previously competed for Russia as a junior. Her mother is Kazakhstani, and indeed her younger sister is a member of the Kazakhstan national fencing team. So an incredibly successful and sporting family. And this, an athlete who has previously landed all quadruple jumps in practice apart from quadruple axel. Livia Kaiser, the 21-year-old, struggling a little bit in the warm-up. She struggled, unfortunately, at the Grand Prix de France. She had a bit of a nightmare short program in Angers, 2 falls in that short program. We really wish her success today in redeeming herself.
She placed 4th at the European
See the strapping
Championships.
on her landing leg there.
Livia Kaiser.
But let me take that triple lutz, triple toe. A bit of an issue with the rotation, and that will be something that we are likely to have to discuss at length as we see triple lutz, triple loop from Yuna. So many of the events are largely dictated by the rotational calls of the technical panel. So for those newer to the sport, the women's short program requires 3 jumping passes. A double axel will be performed in this event by all of the women. All of the women will be looking for a triple combo, with the majority going for triple flip or triple lutz, triple toe. Yuna Aoki going for the more difficult triple lutz, triple loop. But the scores achieved will be differentiated vastly by not just the cleanliness and the length of the running edges on their landings, but as to how much rotation is done in the air and how much is left on the ice. And you will hear me reference cue marks, where the panel believe that the jumping passes are a quarter of a rotation short, or under-rotated jumps or downgraded jumps, where the severity of the lacking rotation consequently impacts on the technical element score. And hard for the untrained eye to spot, hard sometimes for the trained eye to spot, but that will really impact upon what happens. Skaters also desperately hoping that the technical panel will consider their jumping passes fully rotated.
The warm-up
You
is
see
over.
Livia Kaiser
Skaters,
just
please
working
leave
through
the
again,
aisles.
her triple
Thank you.
again. So we've seen one pop, one fall, and one landed triple. Now the time to mentally regroup to ensure that the best is delivered when it counts. So opening the final event of the day, the women's short program, Katherine Medland Spence from Canada. She was injured for most of spring and summer, and she had to have a surgery in the summer. She could not jump for a month. So not the ideal preparation for this 25-year-old from Ottawa. But she looked in warm-up just so happy to be here, and a real chance for her to showcase all the hard work that she has done to be a senior Grand Prix participant, skating to With One Look by Loena. Delightful double axel to open the program. Really good flow and ice coverage being showcased by Katherine. Down on the triple loop. Saving the jump combo for the last jumping pass. Triple toe, double toe.
I'm ready for my close-up. This time I'm staying for good. I'll be back where I was born to be. With one look, I'll be
Canada's Katherine Medland Spence opens the women's short program. And although, of course, this was not the dream skate she would have been hoping for, given the two jumping mistakes, one with the fall on the loop and then a triple-double as opposed to the triple-triple combination she hoped for. But Katherine's quality of skating skill, really impressive. Great flow, great ice coverage. And especially given the knowledge that she's been injured for so much of the season, this is still a reflection of a quality fundamental skater. You see the purity of that back outside edge entering into the double axel, and again, real quality landing. This not fully rotated on that triple loop and never looked particularly comfortable there. However, again, look at the softness of the knee and the ankle action into the triple toe, but the risk of putting the jump combo later in the program. One of the reasons why she elected to do triple double. This was great, difficult entry, winding up into the camel, and then the camel up feature, another level feature, and then doubling up with the camel position feature and the change of edge to secure camel spin level 4, maximum level achieved. Coached by Ken and Danielle Rose and Robert O'Toole. And hopefully this experience for Katherine will be a real opportunity for growth. I really appreciate the skating skills, composition of the program. It's such powerful, big music. Could still do with some more musicality. She heads towards Canadian Nationals beyond this event. First, the score here.
The score for Kathleen
48.42
is 48.42.
largely due to the less difficult technical content.
On the ice, representing the Republic of Korea, Young Yu.
And now to Young Yu. A short program originally intended for last season, but postponed and retained for this season, choreographed by Misha G, skating to Mosaic. She opens with triplets, triple toe. Bar entry into the double axel with beautiful neckline landing. She was a little cautious and hesitant, but she manages to triple flip. Korea's Young Yu completes a clean skate, and importantly, no review on the big value triple Lutz triple toe to open the program, which will be integral to her success in the score here. And with the challenges that she's faced within this Olympic cycle, you just sense a greater appreciation for being out there, and that's something that Young Yu has been very vocal to express, just joy to be back out, but the joy is magnified when there's a clean skate, and this significantly better than at the Grand Prix de France when she just posted a score of 54 points at that event. This far superior. And here we look back at that combo triple Lutz. And triple toe. This was wonderful. Not just the difficulty of the Ina bar entry, if the camera stays on it, the lusciousness of the stare at the judges, eyeballing them to secure a better grade of execution on that double axel landing. Here you can see, knowing on entry how important this would be, triple flip, and a little fist pump to celebrate, rightly so. Now this is an athlete, she was the 2020 Youth Olympic champion. She actually has, as we see her, just struggling a little bit there with the Choctaw within the step sequence. Young Yu has the 4th highest technical element score in an ISU short program. Back in Skate Canada 2019. She's had some humongous scores in the past. As I say, you just sense that participation this time round has a different perspective. It's wonderful to see the appreciation for the moment here from
The score, please.
21-year-old. She is a skater like so many from Korea who began after watching Yuna Kim win gold in Vancouver 2020. So she just added over 13 points in 3 weeks since we saw her last on the Grand Prix. 67.66 for Young Yu. And a very happy skater in the kiss and cry. Delightful to see.
Aoki Yuna-san, Nippon.
On the ice, representing Japan.
And now to the first
Yuna Aoki.
of the Japanese competitors, the first of 3. This, another skater inspired by a former Olympic champion, Shizuka Arakawa, the 2006 Olympic champion. Yuna Aoki, just a vision. This program is stunning. Enjoy as she performs to Adios Nonio. Yuna opens with a big value plan program, content tributes triple, but no combo. Lovely double axel. Sorts of mistakes, had to make a combination out of the triple flip, the double toe. Well, I could just rave endlessly about the quality of this
青
women's
木ゆな
skating.
さんの演技でした
Her presentation, the composition and the construction of the program, the judging criteria references musical sensitivity and timing, and Yuna Aoki, her body moves just utterly representing the Astor Piazzolla music so perfectly. She is a vision and a delight to watch. And it really pains me and saddens me that her technical content is not going to secure her more international competition participation, because the triple lutz mistake is costly, and then the triple flip the same. And as I mentioned during the warm-up, you will hear us reference, or we reference, the rotation calls, and both of her triple jumps in this short program were deemed as under-rotated, so she receives 4/5 of the value because of that. And that is utterly right. The technical calls, I think, assigned, we will see them shortly. Here, the triple lutz. Look to see the landing. Quite a bit of pre-rotation. It's quite loose in the air, and it is under-rotated upon the landing. This was beautiful, the double axel. Even within that, there's not quite the, interestingly, the same body awareness in the jumping passes as she has throughout the rest of the program. Her body awareness is potentially second to none. She has just total mastery of her body and her movement, so perfectly on point. But here, again, she takes a long time to assume her rotational position. Never appears to be really efficient in the air, and that perhaps part of the reason behind the mistakes that she has on those triple jumps. But whilst that's a part of the technical element score, for me, her components are just incredible. And I cannot wait to see her free skate, the La La Land that we saw at Skate Canada in Saskatoon. It was just a masterclass for others watching in composition. And this is a skater who considered retiring last year. She had long discussions with her coach and family and decided to continue, and I'm so glad she did. However, the score will be dependent upon the technical element score too, and that
現在の順位は第2位です。
so it's a
56 She's
some
currently
8 points
in
adrift of
second
last week,
place.
but we heart your work, Yuna Aoki, and wish you well for the free skate.
4番ルナ・ヘンドリックスさん、ベルギー。
On the ice, representing Belgium.
And now to Loena Hendrickx from Belgium. As of Wednesday, now 26 years young. Just so great to see her back, and so amazing the recovery she has made since the ankle surgery in February, skating to the Celine Dion track Ashes.
What's left to say? These prayers aren't working anymore. Everywhere shut down in flames. What's left to do with these broken pieces on the floor?
It's a triple double, Lutz and toe loop.
Calling on you, 'cause I've been shaking, I've been bending backwards till I'm broke.
Spiral rocker counter entry to double axel, followed by the spread eagle.
Come
positive on the takeoff and a fall on the triple flip. Well, a challenging skate for Loena Hendrickx from Belgium. Interesting to see this performance a couple of months adrift from where she was so resplendent at the Skates to Milano figure skating qualifier for the Olympic Games. And Loena has been quite open and honest about some of the stresses and challenges that all of these athletes face, and she finds perhaps more stress, pressure and insecurity than in her younger years, and she's constantly working to maintain her focus and confidence throughout the season. And she's definitely physically prepared. We saw cleaner skates a couple of months ago, but her brother Yorick appreciating that the pressure of this occasion perhaps a little too much to be able to deliver as cleanly as we have seen from her in Beijing. But looking beyond the mistakes, you can see why this is a world medalist. The speed, the ice coverage, the depth of the edges which she holds, forcing the judges to give good components. Here, the triple lutz. And then, not quite sure the rationale or reason. Easy for me to say sitting down watching, but the triple lutz landing looked okay for triple toe, but just a double. This complex transitional content into and out of the double axel, straight into one of her trademark spins. But this, the major error, her brother taking his hand to his head in frustration to see that, because Loena Hendrickx certainly capable of medaling again, but it will be challenging with a skate like that, dependent upon what is to come as the event continues. You can see the Olympic rings tattooed on her side. Twice an Olympian already, and hoping to really enjoy the opportunity to compete at a third Winter Games, and perhaps it's that experience that allows her to take this pragmatically and shrug her shoulders without too much despondency.
現在の順位は第2位です。
There's a 62.45 between she and her coaching brother. They have so much experience between them and can respect the scores given.
Sofia Samodelkinaさん、カザフスタン。
On the ice, representing Kazakhstan, Sofia
And now to
Samodelkina.
Sofia Samodelkina, the 18-year-old. Not sure exactly the form that Sofia is in. She had to withdraw from the Dennis 10 Challenger Series event due to injury, hoping she is now feeling fully fit again. She skates to Chardas. good length throughout that double axel. Lovely musical phrasing for her triple loops. And she does well with triple flip, triple toe in the second half of the program, accruing more points. Really great transitional content. Oh, that was brilliant. Sofia Samodelkina rightly applauds her performance there.
ソフィア・サモデルキナさんの演技でした。
Interesting that the music choice is not something that is as readily used as it was years ago, but the arrangement of the music brought a freshness to it, and the choreography by Shailin Bourne so brilliant, bringing to life a piece of music that looks like it couldn't have been more suited for the Kazakhstan skater. And so any question mark lying over her fitness following the injury that withdrew her from the Challenger Series, totally blown away. Really enjoyable and some wonderful nuances. As Rafael Aratunin, her new coach, she moved to LA to work with Raf in July. To be working well. Lots of ice coverage for the double axel, followed by the back rocker. Here, triple lutz. Just casting her eyes down to ensure that the rotation was full and complete on the landing there. She risked leaving the big value jump combo for later on in the program. And the triple flip, triple toe. Followed by that beautiful inside spread eagle. Classily done. Now this is a skater who she's landed previously quad salco, quad toe loop. She was indeed the first woman to attempt a quadruple loop jump in competition. She's not using that technical content now, but where she has less technical element score proficiency, you can see the progression in the components, even the rotation within her wrists, within that camel spin. Nuances that match the music to ensure the judges give more GOE on the spins. And that's the finish. Looking at that finish position, you can tell it was a clean skate for the skater. That was delivered with a conviction that had a clean skate behind it.
The score, please.
サモデルキナさんの得点 67.75。今シーズンの自己最高得点を更新しました。
So it's a 67.75 for Sofia Samodelkina.
Samodelkina is 67.75. This is her season's best score.
Like
She's
Young
currently
Yu, a
in
very happy
first
skater
place.
in the kiss and cry, and they are separated by just a fraction of a point above Loena Hendrickx.
Livia Kaiser-san.
And now to the final skater in
On the
this
ice,
first warm-up group at the
representing
NHK
Switzerland,
Trophy 2025.
Livia Kaiser.
Switzerland's Livia Kaiser. She's skating to a track that she's always wanted to skate to, and she initially used it in a local club show where she did her own choreography. And when she was little, her coach said she was too young to skate to Whitney Houston and not good enough. So now creating this short program with Shaylin Bourne has been a dream come true.
If I should stay, I would only be in your way. So I'll go, but I know I'll step up.
Unusable double.
And I will always love you.
Big double axel.
Will always love you, my darling, I hope life treats you kind, and I hope you have all you dreamed of.
Just squeak out a triple flip.
And I wish you joy and happiness. But above all this, I wish you love. And
Well, in answer to the coach that told Livia Kaiser she's not good enough to skate to Whitney, that now no longer the case. But that said, this an athlete who's just struggling to regain their technical confidence. We saw in the warm-up for this event, Livia attempting the triple-triple on multiple occasions with varying degrees of success, and so her consistency levels just not reliable enough for her to be able to deliver under the pressure of the performance. So her jump combo with little value comparative to that which she's capable of. We look back at the performance. So she does a shallow rocker entry, difficult entry, but there you can see didn't get enough traction on takeoff. So over her skates fully to rotate a triple on either. Here, back inside edge was musically phrased with a big crescendo. as she steps up into a nice double axel. Exhale of breath, calming herself down before the flip, which has that cue mark to pull the grade of execution down. But that said, despite the combo, this a little better than that which we've seen of her. She struggled at the Challenger Series at the Nebelhorn Trophy. As I say, France was a really difficult event for Livia, but hopefully now, with each passing competition, she'll find some ignition to resume the form that we've seen from her in the past.
The score, please.
Coach Sindra Kriza joins her in the kiss and cry.
カイザーさんの得点 47.95 今シーズンの自己最高得点を更新しました
It's
現在の順位は第6位です
The score for Livia Kaiser is 47.95. This is her season's best score, and she is currently in 6th place.
Really hope now ahead of the free skate that Livia gains some self-confidence to deliver an attack tomorrow. So there we see the results after the first group with Sofia Samodelkina really delivering, as did Young Yu from Korea. Two clean skates lead the field
All right, folks, and please welcome
at the halfway stage of the women's short program. But the audience here is about to get very excited for what is to come. Ahsun Yun, one of many skaters in this event in back-to-back Grand Prix assignments. She competed last week in Saskatoon, in Skate Canada. And here, skating star and fan favorite Wakaba Higuchi. And then to Italian skater Anna Pezzetta, the Italian national champion. And then to Elyce Lin-Gracey, first of two back-to-back American competitors. There is her roommate here at this event, Sarah Everhardt. 18-year-old, turns 20 next week. And there is just the most delightful character in our sport, Kaori Sakamoto. Straight away, she's taken a couple of steps and she's immediately soaring across the ice with her trademark speed and flow. So a huge amount of excitement in the arena.
昨シーズンはチャレンジャーシリーズスロバキア大会優勝
A real treat and a privilege to be here to see Kaori Sakamoto in her final Grand Prix Series short program performance. We assume she will head to the final, but this last Grand Prix. As we look now to Ahsun Yun, she, like Sarah Everhardt, competing in the back-to-back Grand Prix assignments. We've seen skaters in the other disciplines also going through that same challenge. It's not just competing in back-to-back, but in different time zones. Real difficulty. As we look at the wonderful Wakaba Higuchi, she has given us so many wonderful performances that live on rent-free in the minds of so many skating fans. She, like her bestie Kaori Sakamoto, has said that this will be her final season. That part of the reason behind the music choice for Wakaba, My Way, the track. And a completely different perspective from an athlete that's at the end of their senior career to Anna Pezzetta, who has said that being at a senior Grand Prix already means so much to Anna Pezzetta, who's fresh out of the junior ranks as well.
Last season, she won her first
and competed at the Junior Grand Prix last year as well.
at her
And
first
indeed,
European Championships.
she said that
This
competing
season, she
here
placed second at the
is
Challenger
great for her
Series in
because she's going
Slovakia.
to be on the ice as one of her
Representing Italy,
inspirations, Kaori Sakamoto. That is a
Pezzetta.
testament to what Kaori means, not just to those that enjoy watching as fans, but fellow
昨シ
competitors.
ーズンはチャレンジャー
As
シ
we
リーズアメリカ大会銀メダル
cast our eyes upon
ドイツ
Elyce
大会では
Lin-Gracey.
優勝を飾り世界ジュニア選手権では
We saw
銅
her
メダ
3 weeks
ルに
ago
輝きま
at
した
the
今季は
opening
グラン
event
プリ
of the Grand Prix
シリー
Series,
ズ
the
フラン
Grand
ス
Prix
大
de
会
France.
で8位という成績を残しています
But Elyce
Last
has
season,
explained
she
she's
won
dealing
gold
with a
at the
nagging
Challenger
hip
Series in
injury.
Germany and bronze at the Junior World Championships. Representing the United States of America,
Wants to
Elyce
give a shout out really to her
Lin-Gracey.
PT and so many members of her team who have supported her to be here when she's contending with an injury that is so painful. As we look to
昨シーズン
Sarah
全米
Everhardt.
選手権で自己最高の3位に入り
Now,
初出場した四大
as I've mentioned already, there are multiple skaters at the NHK Trophy 2025 who were in Saskatoon at Skate Canada last week, Sarah Everhardt being one of them, and she has had not just the emotional roller coaster of a difficult result last week to contend with, but also a hectic travel week. She had 2 unexpected delays en route from Canada to Japan, and she had a day stuck at Tokyo Airport, which is probably the ideal preparation for participation here. And hopefully she can deliver when it counts. As we look now to the woman who needs a little introduction, Kaori Sakamoto. I could rave about the wonderful command of the ice that she possesses. We can marvel at the speed and flow and the big jumping passes that she has. But one of the greatest attributes of Kaori Sakamoto is her compassion for other athletes, her positive sportsmanship, and the camaraderie that she has with others. She is an absolute beacon of good sportsman attitude, good sportswoman attitude. She is a very special woman who we as fans of the sport all want to continually thank. I think many fans of the sport want to request that she doesn't retire this season, but she's made it quite clear that this will be her final season, and thus this is her last Grand Prix. As we see some last minute adjustments to skates. And it's interesting to consider as we look at Wakaba Higuchi that this is very much now business time, because Wakaba Higuchi and Kaori Sakamoto, we see a gorgeous triple H triple toe from Anna Pezzetta. They are the best of friends, wonderful friends. Elyce Lin-Gracey on screen now is roommate with Sarah Everhardt in this group now. And you can see Sarah moving out of the way for her friend, but it's business time now, and all 6 skaters on the ice have a job to do in which they aspire to deliver personal bests. And whilst we have to assume that Kaori Sakamoto is very likely to be on a plane to Milano Cortina in February to compete in her 3rd Olympics, for many of the skaters on the ice, this event is layered with the pressure, not just for trying to secure potentially Grand Prix final participation, not just good scores and world ranking points, but also to send messages to their respective federations of potential inclusion on Olympic teams.
The warm-up is over. Skaters, please leave the ice. Thank you.
And so now opening the final group in the final event of this first day of competition at the NHK Trophy 2025. Ahsun Yun, 10th last week at Skate Canada. She originally planned to skate to the Fire Within, but switched to East of Eden just less than a month ago for a better fit. To use that wonderful piece of music for a personal best now. over-rotated on the landing the triple lutz, so elects to spare the combination for later. Signaling the change of music. Double axel. To make it a combo, and she does. Triple flip, triple toe. Mistake within the steps. Korea's Ahsun Yun completes her short program, and there's such a
Ahsun Yun さんの演技で
debate
した
as to the merits of competing in back-to-back events. This, a young woman who has competed so much already this season. She has done 3 Challenger Series events already this year. She's now in her back-to-back Grand Prix assignment. And there are pros and cons, of course, to competing in back-to-back events. Sometimes it's taken out of the hands of the skater and directed by the federations or the ISU. And I sensed the participation last week fueled some of this skate. Last week there was a fall on the double axel for Ahsun Yun, but then later within the step sequence, maybe little mistakes there were a result of the exhaustion she must be feeling traveling across the globe to compete here. This was intended to be the jump combo, triple lutz. You can see left side, right side was way over rotated, unable therefore to make the combo where it was initially intended. But much better on this Grand Prix for the double axel. At this point in time now, her brain consumed with the reality of needing to make this a combo. Question mark over the edge there of the triple flip takeoff. And we don't see the feet, but the technical panel have deemed triple toe to be under rotated, but nevertheless Ahsun Yun, I'm sure, satisfied to have made a combo later in the program. Now we see the thought bubble above Ahsun Yun's head there, computing what happened as Young Jongchi, her coach, joins her. It was 58 points, 58.84 in Saskatoon a week ago with a fall. So this will be better, although still not her best. Better. See again, just the roller coaster of emotions that the athletes go through. You can see in Ahsun, joy to be here, celebrating, sending messages perhaps back home, but then clicking back into the reality of the very real desire for good scores if she's to become an Olympian representing Korea.
Yun さんの得点 61.51 今シーズンの自己最高得点を更新しました。
So it's a 61.51 for Ahsun Yun. She slots into 4th place, not far behind Belgium's Loena Hendrickx.
8番樋口若葉さん
Be prepared to hear thunderous support for the next skater, Wakaba Higuchi, skating to My Way, a track recommended to her by her choreographer Jeffrey Buttle. He wanted to use this in his final season. She really feels that the lyrics reflect her desire to close her competitive career on a high note. For so many reasons, the opening double axel.
The final curtain, my friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain.
So much speed.
I live a life that's full, I travel each and every highway. At any age, I'll turn the page and do it my way. I love, I laugh, I cry, live a life that's of my choosing. I refuse.
It's a nightmare. No combo.
Refuse to live a life.
Takes downgrade
To
of the triple flip.
win at life and never losing. Just to think that's where I'm at. Each day I say, not in a shy.
Japan's Wakaba Higuchi. Now we know that she has been struggling with injury. It's not been the dreamy Olympic season that she wanted. She was unwell for the free skate at the Kanoshita Group Cup in Osaka, and then further issues with injury. She's just such a sensational skater. She looks resplendent on the ice. And I know that there are so many watching this that were craving her to give the technical content that would give the scores to put her in contention to repeat as an Olympian again. She's such, well, she is an Olympian. She was 5th at the Beijing Olympic Games. And she absolutely would deserve a spot at the games because of the quality of her skating, the quality of the movement she has. It's just wondrous. But to make the Japanese Olympic team this year is going to be so incredibly difficult because there's such a depth of talent. Even the start position is to recall all of her skating life so far. The right forward inside bracket entry into a huge double axel. Music, it's just divine. +3, +4 at least. Here, this is meant to be a triple-triple. And at that point, she's immediately conscious that she's circa 10+ points down. And as I say, with the depth of talent and the competition domestically within Japan for those coveted 3 Olympic spots, she can't afford that. And Wakaba wants to take one of those Olympic spots because she effectively has been part of creating them. She was 6th at Worlds, and that contributed to Japan's 3-place quota at Milan. But when she was heading into this triple flip, she knew she needed to make it a combination, and instead comes away with 1 point from that jumping pass. As we see the falling leaf. And this Kevin Amos style slide. We can only hope now that Wakaba is able to deliver a clean free skate for some redemption. Pretty sure the entire skating community, if they could, would carry her through a clean skate tomorrow. We wait to see the soundtrack to Wonder Woman for the free skate.
The score, please.
樋口さんの
I don't
得
think
点
we want to see this.
53.15。現在の順位は第6位です。
No.
The score for Wakaba Higuchi is 53.15.
53.15 for
She's currently in 6th.
the wonderful skater that is Wakaba Higuchi. Let's hope she gets a good night's sleep and a wonderful free skate to come tomorrow.
9番アンナ・ペッツェッタさん、イタリア。
On the ice, representing Italy,
So now to
Pezzetta.
Anna Pezzetta. She competed at the Cup of China, said that she learned a lot there and excited to skate here at NHK. You may have noticed in warm-up this, a woman with some of the hugest jumping passes in the world. As ever, huge jump combination, triple lutz, triple toe. She keeps the glide on the landing of that double axel for seemingly an eternity. Falls on the triple flip. Italy's Anna Pezzetta makes her way to center ice to take her bow in front of the fans that she's so happy to get the chance to skate for. But she was hoping for the clean shot program, as all the skaters are. And as I mentioned in the warm-up, Anna, conscious of the opportunity that she has being here on the ice with the likes of Kaori, and the comparison between the performance of this to Wakaba Higuchi, really showcasing the difference in maturity and performance, where Anna will continue to grow an athleticism that is almost unparalleled in her jumps, with the program component scores continually under construction. You can see the work with Adam Solya on the choreography, intending to push those component scores, as we look though now at the absolute highlight. So much ice coverage for the triple lutz and the triple toe. The entry into the double axel was difficult, but what was so impressive was her ability to sustain this back outside edge, then combining that with difficult turns whilst maintaining flow and glide, and that, just textbook. And here actually we see the work that she's doing on the presentation. But they are the costliest of mistakes with the triple flip. As I say, the evidence in her continued improvement in program component scores definitely visible to me, having seen this progression from juniors, but in a field where you're surrounded by the likes of Wakaba Higuchi, you see the differentiation still and continuing to improve that emotional interpretation and commitment. Elisa Mitansari, Angelina Terenko, the coaching staff. You must be so proud of the jump content that they have created in this athlete.
61.35 現在の順位は第5位です。
The score for Anna Pezzetta is 61.35. She's currently in 5th place.
For Anna, she moves into 5th place, close to 2 above her though.
10番エリス・リン・グレイシーさん、アメリカ。
On the ice,
And now to the first of the 2 back-to-back American skaters competing in this women's short program, Elyce Lin-Gracey. She had a new short program with music chosen for her by Amber Glenn, but her team in US figure skating thought she should reuse last year's program. Broken Vow by Lara Fabian the track for Elyce Lin-Gracey. Fall in the second part of the jump combo, triple lutz, triple toe. Ooh. A wobble on the choctaw as she prepares for the double axel. You can see the understandable disappointment on the face of Elyce Lin-Gracey from the United States of America. Managed complete rotation on the second part of the combo, but triple triple toe with a fall decimates that technical element score. As has been the case for many, the women are not having the greatest of skates, submarring the top two thus far. But Elyce has been dealing with that nagging hip injury, and I think there were occasions when she wasn't sure she would be able to compete and perform with the pain that she's enduring currently. So to get through this performance, admirable at least. The world junior bronze medalist lines up the triple triple. Nice outside edge takeoff and fights hard. But actually, subsequently in the system, that triple tulip has been deemed under-rotated, which I think is accurate. Good recovery from a little misstep on the preparation for this, the double axel. But you can see fighting a little bit, just a little off-axis, oscillating in the air, never comfortable. But this is good. Solid triple flip. And one of her trademarks, this, the Ina Bauer. Beautifully done. She, although dealing with a hip injury, fortunate to have sufficient turnout in her hips to deliver a move as beautiful as that, which requires such open turnout. You can see the refinement that Elyce has just in the way in which she holds that and assumes the finish position as coach Tammy Gamble joins her. So 3 weeks ago, Elyce posted 59.30 at the Grand Prix de France.
60.62 今シーズンの自己最高得点を更新しました。
And now it's 60.62.
The score for
This skater who has
Elyce
posted over 70 points in a short program, so you can see why she would be disappointed with the score given. As she slots into 6th place of the 10 competitors thus far.
11番サラ・エバーハードさん、アメリカ。
On the ice,
And
representing
now,
the United States
from
of America,
one roommate to another, Sarah Everhardt completes, or gets ready to complete her second Senior Grand Prix short program within a week. The same short program as last season, Reel Around the Sun by Bill Whelan. Good. Triple toe. Steady with the double axel as well. Oh, she sized it up for seemingly an eternity, the triple loop. You can see Sarah Everhardt barely able to sustain her finished position, so frustrated with that skate, and you can see how she really feels about that performance, and this young woman who's been through the ringer a little bit last week at Skate Canada. She had some rough calls on many of the triple jump rotations in the free skate, and indeed in our short program last week, levels weren't good on the spin. So last week it was change foot combo spin 3, layback spin 3, step sequence 2. This week it's a 4, 4, and a 3. So that has been improved, but perhaps the disappointment from last week, perhaps it's that hectic travel that I explained. She's stuck in Tokyo airport for a week, not the optimal preparation, as we see the triple lutz and the triple toe, which is clean in the system. Followed up with the pretty common entry in this event, Inabar into double axel. She does a pretty good back outside counter, but here, considering, seemed just hesitant and just did not let the right back outside edge run sufficiently to pop up for the triple loop. That's downgraded, so she has 1 point for her solo triple, so losing so much there. For a skater that has been somewhat renowned for delivering consistently on the tech score, and I think many were hoping that Sarah could put herself in contention and in the mix for one of those 3 spots for American women at the Olympics. But she's still so young, 20 next Wednesday. Tatiana Malinina making sure to shape her heart in the kiss and cry and make light of this. She's got so much more to give. So yet another skater falling into the 61-point range.
She's currently in 5th place.
Very little separates the women, so still potential to climb up in the rankings with a solid free skate for Sarah. Well, the masterful Kaori Sakamoto gets ready to skate. Her choreographer Benoit Richaud wrote her a letter before creating this program and said the program is a love letter to everything you've been until now. It's not about saying goodbye to skating, but to the younger Kaori, the one who doubled, who doubted, who fell, who cried silently at times. This is time to honor herself and a program in tribute to that journey. Time to say goodbye in her final Grand Prix short program. Immediately, skating skills so evident. Triple lutz. Spectacular. Double axel. dangerous triple flip, triple toe. Well, I'm sure that we are likely to see Kaori Sakamoto compete at the Grand Prix final, but that, her final short program in the Grand Prix series. And I think the brilliance of that performance makes it all the more bittersweet to think that we're closing in on the end of the competitive career of one of the great skaters, and that arguably one of her best short programs. And as I said in warm-up, it's not just the brilliance of her skating, the brilliance of that notoriously renowned double axel, but the brilliance of the human that she is. Kaori Sakamoto is just a wonderful advert for sportsmanship, not just in our sport, but really globally in all sports, as she supports the Japanese skaters and indeed every skater. She is an absolute advert for good humanity in sport, as her long-time coaching staff through their ritualistic send-out. Here we see that change of edge into the triple lutz. That one of the very few mistakes she makes technically. Should be a back outside edge, but it is not. So the judges should take that into consideration in regards to the grade of execution. However, those running edges on the landings of the jumps certainly give a good start point for a positive GOE. And if I return to the letter that choreographer Benoit Richaud sent to Kaori, he said that this should not be a sad farewell, as we see that epic entry into her epic double axel. He suggested that it should be a celebration, and the time to say goodbye can mean I rise ready to go higher, as we look at the triple flip and the triple toe loop. I was nervous entering into that triple for her, but she's obviously in brilliant form. The free skate that she delivered in her first Grand Prix assignment this season was also one of her best, despite the fact that she found herself behind the young Japanese Ami Nakai. There she is, the star of the event, and the start in a competition that has not been illustrious. The women have struggled in this event, but Kaori stayed in her own lane, managed to showcase the experience that she had in delivering in an event where few have. Can she close in close to 18 like she has before? Not far adrift. 77 components in the 9.
77.05. This is her season's best score, and she's currently
Maybe go a little higher than the 9 in the composition mark. But maybe that sentimental value as we all continue to
女子シングルショートプログラ
fangirl
ム
a
の競
little
技を終了
over
いたし
this
ます
amazing athlete,
なお
Kaori
この後
Sakamoto.
規制退場を行いますどうぞお席でお待ちください
And this concludes the competition for the women's short program. The competition for ice
Well, that
tennis free
concludes
dance will start at 12
Both
noon
the
tomorrow.
women's short program
明日は
and also this
競
first
技
day of
アイスダンス
competition at the
フリーダンス
NHK
の競技を
Trophy,
開始い
the
たし
fourth
ま
of the
す
six events in the International Skating Union Grand Prix
来
Series.
場時の混雑を避けるため
Kaori Sakamoto leads the field by 10 points. She was the expected favourite. She's given herself a buffer to take the title, and I believe that would be her fourth at the NHK Trophy. Disappointment for Wakaba Higuchi, another Japanese skating star, unable to deliver. We wish her and the other 11 competitors in the women's event a solid outing tomorrow in the free skate. As we see where the medals are decided, you will not want to miss the competition tomorrow, nor the gala, which will take place the following day as well. As we see the flags of the competitors in this event. 17 nations represented at the NHK Trophy 2025. As we look back to young Yu from Korea, massive improvement for her at this event from her earlier performances this season. And she now in medal contention, perhaps a little surprisingly above Loena Hendrickx from Belgium, but she's got a 5-point margin above the fourth place competitor after day one of competition. And Sofia Samodelkina delivering a wonderful performance to Chardas. And there, snapshot into some of the perfect musicality and good use of blade and body throughout the choreography for her short program. I think it's Sunset Boulevard, the free skate for Sofia. Based on what we saw earlier this season, that too another wonderful piece of choreography as we see another happy skater at the end of the performance. But the win in this short program, without any question, goes to the three-time world champion Kaori Sakamoto. I wonder how many +5 grades of execution were delivered to that double axel. Certainly deserving. Very favourable grade of execution too for the triple flip, triple toe. And as is customary, a wonderful smile on the face of Kaori Sakamoto. So that concludes day one. I'm Mark Henretti. Thank you for joining us today on the first day of competition. Make sure you come back tomorrow for day two, starting with the ice dance free dance at the NHK Trophy 2025.